Hey guys, for this tutorial, we're going to talk a little bit about PubMed. Now, in order to access PubMed, you can do that a couple of different ways. From the library homepage, you can either click on Research Guides, which will give you to the Nursing or Health Science Research Guide, and you can access PubMed from there, or you can go to the alphabetical list of databases, so we'll go ahead and click on Databases. Now I know that I'm looking for PubMed, so I'll go ahead and hit P for PubMed and then scroll down to the bottom. Now you'll notice that there's two different versions of PubMed, PubMed Central and PubMed at CSULB. PubMed Central is kind of our free version. It doesn't have as many paid subscriptions in it, so there's not going to be as much full text as there will be in PubMed at CSULB, which contains our subscriptions. So I'm going to recommend that you do PubMed at CSULB. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and you'll notice it brings us to the new PubMed user interface. Now I'm going to go ahead and type in a diagnosis. We'll just say diabetes, and it's going to bring me to a search. Now you'll notice already it's an overwhelming amount of results. We've got, over 700,000, but that's okay because we can go ahead and do a variety of different ways that we can bring that number down and be a little bit more precise. So let's just say I want to add a population. So I could say and children. And that's going to go ahead and bring it down a little bit because I'm asking for it to be not only about diabetes, but also in children. Now, one thing different about PubMed is that there are filters over here on the left-hand side, but not all of them are revealed right away. So you'll notice right here it says additional filters, and that's because the only filters that are showing right now are ones that I've selected. So you can select additional filters to show if you'd like to. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's go ahead and go to additional filters, and it gives you a pop-up menu. Now, all of these are available for article type. If I wanted to add a clinical study, for example, I could do that. I could go to species, and then we have humans or other animals. I'm going to go ahead and leave that at just humans as my only option. Language, you can go ahead and add a variety of languages if you'd like to. Sex, subject, journal, and age. Now, these are all going to be available to you. Now, you'll notice that right now the only two that are selected are middle-aged. So I'm going to go ahead and add child to that all the way up to the age 18. And so then, let's see, oh, that one too. And so then now I'm going to hit show, and you'll notice that now I have more options to choose from when it comes to the age filters. So we can go ahead and look at this, and I'm going to say, okay, well, I want to make sure that my articles are within the last 10 years. So I can go ahead and I can use this sliding tool, go all the way up to 2010. Or if you prefer, you can go ahead and use one of these pre-indicated buttons. So I can say, actually, maybe I want last 5 years. I could click on last 5 years. Okay, and that went ahead and adjusted this for me. So now we have our article type. This could be important if you're using evidence-based practice and you want to make sure that you're using a particular kind of article like a randomized controlled trial. Now I'm going to go ahead and say I want to make sure that the studies were done in humans. I need the articles to be written in English as that's the only language I read fluently. And then I'm going to go back down to these age limiters. Now I can use them, but since I used a children as one of my search terms, I'm going to go ahead and leave it and see how that does for me. So now I still have 13,000 results, but I'm not going to get too discouraged on that number because I'd really like to see if these are about what I want them to be about. So now you'll notice this is diabetes in infants and children, type 2 diabetes in children, diabetes in children. This is all about what I want it to be about. So at least I know I'm on the right track. So you can always add more terms. You could add, for example, a geographic area, or maybe you want to add some sort of, intervention, like maybe we say and diet. So you can always add more terms, and that is going to be helpful for you. Now you'll notice my filters stayed the same. That's something in PubMed that we call sticky limiters. It means that they will not go kind of back to their default setting unless you unclick them. So if I wanted to expand my languages to include another language like French, I could go ahead and do that by unclicking this. But unless I do that, it's going to keep all my filters applied. So just keep that in mind. So now we have, a slightly, fewer number of articles to look through. For example, carbohydrate counting in children and adolescents with type 2 diabetes. Now, carbohydrate counting, that's going to be a great, part of their diet. It's about children, it's about diabetes. So now it's just a matter of going through these articles and determining which ones that I, like for my assignment. If I go ahead and click on one, you'll notice that there isn't a PDF embedded in this. And that's because PubMed is more of a pointer. It's really too big in order to index all of the PDFs. So instead, you'll have to link out to that full text, which is going to be over here on the right-hand side. And you could select one of these to link out to the full text. So I could say link out to related resource or PMC. I could click on one of these and see if it would take me to the full text of the article. Here we have it right here, including the PDF over here on the right-hand side. So really, it's taking me to the article. There's just a couple of extra steps that you have to go through in order to access that PDF. It's usually just a pointer, in which case, once you click on that, it'll bring you over to a way that you can access the PDF. So keep these in mind when you're searching PubMed. Keep in mind that you can change your filters to meet your requirements. And keep in mind that you always want to be choosing PubMed at CSULB. I hope this gives you guys a great intro to PubMed. And believe me, it's a really powerful resource. So if you guys ever needed it, it's here for you, as am I. Thanks, guys. Bye.